What's up YouTube, Boss Jacoby here with episode 2 of my new series Basic Training. Today I'll be covering Radiation Domination, a map in game mode and MLG variant. As you can see on your screen, I'll be covering 5 things: basic map breakdown, spawns, pre-nades, objective nades, and our breakout strategies. You can click any one of those words to be directed to the specific time in this video where I'll be covering that individual thing. Let's move on to the video. Alright guys, welcome to the basic map breakdown segment of this video. First, let's look at the position of all 3 flags. On the left of your screen is A, the middle is B, and on the far right is C. Let's take a closer look at each of them. As you can see, A flag is pretty much in the open, surrounded by nothing but a couple of trucks. Next, B is the most covered flag on this map, and is even more so when the doors above it are closed. Finally, C flag, the second hardest flag to grenade, is sheltered by tons of barrels and leads you underground to B flag. Next, let's take a look at the alleys on Radiation. On the far right in green is Conveyor. Next, designated in blue, the middle section of the map is called Middle when they are above ground, and Basement when they are below it. Finally, the left side of your screen, marked in red, is called Gate. These 3 alleys are extremely beneficial in capture the flag, but still aid in callouts in a game mode such as Domination. Usually the basic map breakdown segment would end here, but this map is unique in that it features the middle flaps highlighted in red. The doors can be opened via 2 control panels, one located on gate side and the other up top on conveyor side. In addition, the area underground surrounding B flag is extremely symmetrical, which is uncommon amongst the other MLG maps and makes it extremely difficult to call out enemies' locations. So, let's take a look at good ways to call out specific locations in an area that would otherwise be quite difficult to do so. First, we have tires, which is that cluster of objects highlighted in red and is on the side closest to C flag. Next, on the opposite side, closest to A flag, the boxes, which might be hard to see, but nonetheless is an extremely important callout because you need to distinguish quickly and effectively which side the opponents are on. Next, Missile, highlighted in red again, is a callout used to let your team know when an opponent is camping next to one. Finally, let's discuss the 4 entrances to B flag and what they are called. This area, which is closest to C flag, is called Sewer. Next, this side, closest to A flag, is called Supply. Finally, the 2 houses that you can jump down to B from are called Crack, and you must specify which one you are talking about by saying A or C beforehand, depending on which side the opponent is on. Alright guys, that concludes the basic map breakdown segment of this video. Let's move on to in-game spawns. Alright guys, welcome to the in-game spawn segment of Basic Training episode 2, Radiation Domination. This overlay shows the 4 in-game spawns. It is possible to spawn elsewhere, but these are the ones that you must focus on the most. In red are the most popular spawns and the ones that I will be explaining how to trap people in. In green are the less common spawns, spawns that only appear under specific conditions. Let's first take a look at the top right red star called Pit. The opponents will likely spawn here if you currently hold A and B flag. Next, let's look at the bottom right green spawn called Top Steps. This is a relatively uncommon spawn, and the only time enemies will spawn here is when you push up too far into Pit. The next spawn is called Conveyor, and is located in the top middle of your screen, designated by the green star, to indicate that this is an uncommon spawn. The only times people will spawn here is when the enemy is capping B flag, or if you only have B flag capped. The final in-game spawn for this map is called Construction, and is on the bottom of your screen, marked with a red star, showing that this is a common spawn. If you have C and B flag capped, they will almost always spawn here. Let's move on to a new edition of this series called Hotspots. Hotspots are merely positions on the map that are either used by you or your enemy to create a spawn trap. It is essential to know these spots to not only trap your enemies, but to know where they could be when you find yourself trapped. For spawn trapping people at Construction, there are 3 main spots. First, behind this barrel beside a crack. Next, under the gate stairs. And finally, on top of solar panels. Just make sure you are using a weapon such as the FAMAS or another long-range weapon. For spawn trapping people at Pit, there are only 2 main spots. First, laying down in crack, and second, crouching behind this barrel. Let's move on to the next segment of this video, pre-nades. Alright guys, welcome to the pre-nade segment of this video. Unfortunately, Radiation Domination only has one noteworthy pre-nade. When you spawn by C flag, you run towards gate alley and hurl a grenade over the building to A flag. And if the other team is only capping A with one teammate, which is pretty common nowadays, you can grenade them before they ever cap A. This allows you to completely mess with the other team's strategy, and ultimately, as you will see later in the Breakout Strategy segment, can really help you capture B flag, which is the main objective in domination. Alright guys, welcome to the objective nade segment of this video. All of these nades will be based upon the assumption that the middle doors are open, because if they're not, you need to run down into the basement to throw a grenade, and that is pretty easy. Anyways, let's start with a grenade that lands on B flag when you spawn by construction. You want to cook the grenade so that the crosshairs expand 2 times. Let me play it in slow motion so you guys can see exactly where I aim the grenade to make it land on B. The next grenade is from Pit and lands on B as well. The final grenade is by far the most difficult and is thrown when you spawn by conveyor, and like I said earlier, when you spawn here, it is typically because the enemy is capping B, so this nade is extremely useful. You must use a frag grenade. Let's see it in slow motion. Alright guys, welcome to the Breakout Strategy segment of this video. This time I will be showing a bird's eye view of our team as we initiate our strategy. We have one teammate who goes straight to B flag, down the stairs and through supply. Then the other 3 teammates, myself, Turmoils, and Conquerable, all hop on A flag. However, Conquerable and myself only stay on it for a bit, while Turmoil stays on it until it's been fully capped. The reason we do this is to ensure that the nade I showed you earlier does not kill us before we get the flag. Next, we send Turmoils and Conquerable to the basement through supply, while I go through the middle and onto A crack to watch for any rushers. After that, I jump down the middle doors to cap B flag with the rest of my team, who should be set up properly. Let's take a look at this in action through my point of view.
Capture the objective. Securing A. Alpha secure. Securing B.
There you have it, a perfectly executed breakout strategy. Our breakout strategy for the other side is far more complex because we feel we can be more aggressive. Feel free to tone down what we do a bit if it seems a little out of the ordinary, but I can't argue with the results. I run along gate side and throw that grenade onto A, the one I showed you earlier. Once completed, I jump down A crack to come up behind the enemy. My 3 teammates all go on C flag, however Andrew and Conquerable only go on it for a bit, while Turmoil stays on it until it's fully capped. Next, Andrew runs underground through sewer to B flag and makes sure the enemy is not capping B, but at the same time he doesn't rush right away to cap it. Conqueror runs towards C crack and jumps down to B flag. Finally, Turmoils goes conveyor side straight to the control panel that controls the middle doors, and he waits until he can close the doors to make it harder for the enemy to capture B once we get it. By doing this, he is limiting the areas they can come in from, and at the same time making it much harder for them to nade us. Even though I die here, taking that nade reduced its damage and helped my teammates stay on B and cap it for the easy 2 cap in the beginning of the round. That's it for the breakout strategies, but I have one more extra part of this video that was requested by a viewer. So without further ado, I'm going to go over my favorite class for this map. My personal favorite class for this map is FAMAS with Red Dot, Lightweight Pro, Sleight of Hand Pro, and Ninja. I switch between Frag and Semtex depending on the situation, basically whether or not the middle doors are open. I strictly use concussion on each of my classes. The reason I prefer the FAMAS over the AK-74U is because on this map in game mode I don't face too many close encounters, as I like to keep my distance and pick them off one by one from afar. However, if your role makes you rush more, then perhaps the AK-74 is for you. Anyways guys, thanks so much for watching. This video took about 4 days to make. Please leave a comment with anything I can improve on in future episodes. If you enjoyed it, please thumbs it up, favorite it. It really helps a lot. It means a lot to me. Thank you again for watching, and hope you have a great day. Peace.